Hello guys, this is Emma here. I'm just hopping on here to talk a little bit about a major issue that holds people back from really stepping into the purpose, and I'm going to talk about it today. And that issue is self-criticism, putting yourself down. If we had friends who put ourselves down in the same way that we put ourselves down, we would not be friends with them for very long. It would be a very toxic relationship. But how many of us go through our day and all we do is criticize ourselves in our own mind, put ourselves down, tell ourselves that we're stupid, and that seems to be acceptable somehow. That seems to be kind of the norm. And it's actually creating this really toxic situation in yourself where negativity is really dominating. So one way to think about it, in yogic philosophy they talk about having three minds: the negative mind, the positive mind, and the neutral mind. The negative mind, for a lot of people, I know that for me this was definitely the case, the negative mind was really controlling my life. And the negative mind is designed to warn you of danger, tell you what's wrong. But when it's overdeveloped, it's just going to focus on the negative, everything that's wrong with you. It's going to nitpick and tell you what you said was stupid, or what you're doing, everything you're doing is wrong. Do you have this voice in your head? Is this voice, what does it say to you? Will point at everything. Nothing that you do is ever good enough. And this is where perfectionism comes in, because we're trying to beat that, show that inner critic that we can be good enough. And the thing is, the inner critic, it's always going to find something to criticize. We can't assuage it by being better, because it's always going to find the faults, and the faults are always going to be there. So one way of dealing with it, I'm going to go talk about some tips to deal with this inner critic. And this is where we get also the imposter syndrome, I'm not good enough. It boils down to these really deep self-esteem issues. But one way of dealing with all of these negative beliefs is to actually let them out rather than push them down, suppress them. Just let them out. This is what I did. You've got to kind of interrupt the pattern that's kind of going on, because maybe for 20, 30 years you've had this pattern of telling yourself you're not good enough, you're not worthy. So it's very difficult to kind of switch that tune, switch that record, if you've been playing it constantly for 20 years or whatever of your life. Or maybe that's the voice of a parent, who put you down, and now you've taken that on. That's the only kind of nurturing that you're comfortable receiving. So to change this over, I'm going to show you a little meditation that you can do to balance out the negative mind and bring in more positivity. And this meditation, it's really simple. It's just working with the breath. And what you're doing is you're just allowing the negativity, the negative thoughts to come up, and you're releasing it. You're letting it go. You're sending it off to the ether, to whatever it is for you. You're letting it go. You're recognizing it. Because any negativity that you have in your life, if you want to let it go, you have to pick it up and recognize it first, and only then can you let it go. If you try to let it go without recognizing it, without fully recognizing it and why it's there, you're gonna struggle. So this meditation, just find yourself in a nice seated position, put the right hand over the left, and sit with a nice straight spine. Just bring it close. You can close your eyes and just tune into yourself. Tune into your heart center. Take a nice deep breath into the belly and up into the chest, up into to the shoulders. Hold the breath in and exhale. Squeeze in the navel and push that air out. Just tune in. Take a moment to really tune in. Notice how you're feeling right now. And then bring your hands out, so just around the center of your chest, straight out there. The right hand over the left hand, crossed. So you've got a kind of cup action going here. And then what we're going to do, the eyes can be slightly open, and looking down at the hands, you're going to inhale and breathe in that negative thought. So whatever it is, I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough. And then exhale, purse the lips and consciously bring it onto the palm of the hand, and from there just allow it to disperse up into the ether. And then breathing in, inhaling through the nose all the way down into the belly, breathing it right in, and exhale. And just letting it disperse there in the palm of your hand, seeing it floating up. And inhale, and exhale through the mouth. You can even feel breath on the palms of the hand. We're going to do this a few more times. Inhale through the nose. And bring in that negative thought, that negative energy, that feeling. What is it that you've been telling yourself? And exhale. Let it go now. Last time, inhale. And exhale. And inhale deep. And hold it, hold the breath. And just any negative energy, any negative thoughts, any negative feelings or sensations in the body, just consciously release them from the body now and bring them onto the palm of your hand, holding the breath in. So wherever you want to visualize that. And then exhale and release, and bringing the hands down onto the lap. And just notice any differences that you're feeling in your body. So the negative mind, the negative self-talk, the negative critic, it's part of who we are, being human. It's the negative ego, it's a necessary thing. It's to keep us focused in reality. But when it gets out of control, life can get crazy and we can start attracting a lot of negative things into our life, because the more what you've got going on, your trauma, you can attract more and more of that. The other thing that you can do is start a practice, a daily practice of meditation, some kind of consciousness practice, because what this is, the the critical energy, it's just your mind running the show, and it means that we're not in control of our body. The monkey is kind of at the helm of our life, and we're not really conscious of our habits. So what we've got to do through yoga or through other consciousness practices is shine the light of consciousness on them, and then we can release them. We can choose to let them go, because a habit is something that you do that's not conscious. Once you know that you're doing it, it can become a choice, and you can choose to let it go. It doesn't need to take 100 years, it doesn't need to take 20 years. It can happen in a heartbeat, in an instant, although it can take some time for some people to reach that point where they're ready to let it go. So just and bless yourself. So a lot of the time, this inner critic within ourselves, it's the child, it's just what we're used to. So be gentle with yourself, like you would speak to yourself, like you would a child, like you would your best friend, and see how your life will change. I love what Louise Hay says about, approving of yourself. You've tried being critical of yourself for so long, and how's that been working for you? So try approving of yourself now and see how that goes. Um, so sending you lots of blessings this evening, and let me know down below how this worked for you. And if you want to have a chat about any issues that I raised, or if you're interested in looking more deeply about the unconscious beliefs or feelings, or more into going into deep meditation to release any of this stress and tension, if you want assistance with that, please let me know. This is the work that I do. And have a great evening.